Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Srujan. I am a practicing cosmetic dentist and your mentor for the day. And the topic which we are going to focus on today is dentine hypersensitivity. And like always, I'm going to further simplify this topic from this absolutely wonderful book of mind maps and notes by MedStudyGo. Guys, this book is a must have. If you do not have this, you guys are missing out on a lot of things. Go ahead, get it from Amazon, Flipkart, Dental Cart, or directly from the official MedStudyGo website. So let us start with the topic, and this is the mind map which we are going to focus on. Let us start with the first part of the answer which you are going to write, that is the definition, which was given by Doyle and Andy in 1983. So dentine hypersensitivity is basically defined as a short, sharp pain arising from exposed dentine in response to stimulus. This stimulus can be thermal, evaporative, tactile, osmotic, or even chemical. Now, when we talk about thermal, it's obviously hot or cold stimulus, and when we talk about tactile, it can be during chewing and similar things. Moving on ahead, let us talk about the etiology. So the incidence is greater in females than the males, and the most common sites are usually the left side than the right side, and the buccal and cervical areas are the most commonly affected. Especially the most commonly affected teeth are canines and premolars. Now, when we talk about the buccal and cervical areas and the canines and premolars, the first thing which comes to our mind is abrasion, cervical abrasion, and that is what brings us to the next point, which is lesion localization. So, dentinal tubules are exposed by atresion, abrasion, erosion, and effraction, which are all types of wasting diseases which lead to exposure of dentine. Now, gingival recession and loss of cementum on root surface is another, uh, you know, cause of this dentinal exposure. Thin calcified smear layer increases fluid movement and pain. This is one of the theory, and we are going to get back to this soon. Coming to lesion initiation. So tubular plugs and smear layer is removed. This is the first event which takes place, followed by dentinal tubules and pulp are exposed to the external environment from where the stimulus is presented. Now, moving on ahead, let us talk about the dentinal tubule fibers. The first one we have is A delta fibers, which is very important for you to understand. The most important thing which you need to remember is it is myelinated and fast conduct. Obviously, like we studied in our 8th standard biology, because it's myelinated, it is going to carry the stimulus much faster, right? So this is going to be responsible to carry stimulus to dentinal tubules, the kind of pain which is sharp in nature. Uh, and this is going to be the peripheral fiber. So they are going to be at the periphery of our pulp or the tooth structure. So they are going to be first to react to drilling or sweet or cold air. All of these stimuli, and one of the examples is reversible pulp damage. Right, so the pain which you get late at night or on cold stimulus or when you eat something sweet, basically all the history questions which we have asked our patients, they have been going through that pain, all thanks to A delta fibers. After that, we have C fibers, which are going to be unmyelinated, meaning they're going to be slow conducting. They are going to be placed centrally, or they are going to be the core fibers and responsible to carry dull aching pain, something like irreversible pulp damage. Now here we have a diagram which is going to demonstrate us these two fibers, the A fiber and the C fiber. So the A delta fiber, like we studied, they're going to be placed peripherally. They're going to carry the sharp and fast kind of pain because they are going to be myelinated nerve fibers. On the other hand, C fibers are going to be core fibers or placed centrally. They are going to carry dull, slow aching pain like the irreversible pulp damage, and this nature which is slow is all because these fibers are not going to be myelinated. Moving on ahead, we have theories. Now this is all about pain conduction. So the first one we have is called direct innervation theory. Now, according to this theory, dentin contains nerve endings that respond when stimulated. And the thing about this sounds very convincing and all, but there is very little evidence present. Which brings us to our second theory, that is odontoblastic receptor theory. According to this theory, odontoblasts serve as receptors and are coupled to nerves in the pulp, right? So basically odontoblasts are going to be the receptors, or the areas or the cells where the stimulus is going to be presented to, and there is no significant amount of synopsis found for this, so this cannot be the most accepted theory again. Which brings us to the third and probably the most important theory, that is the fluid hydrodynamic theory. According to this theory, the tubular nature of dentin permits fluid movement to occur within the tubule when stimulated. Now, this was given by Brannstrom, and this is the most accepted theory. Let us go through this diagram, which is going to demonstrate all of these theories. According to the direct nerve innervation theory, which says that the openings or the ends of dentinal tubules are going to be stimulated or going to be activated when stimulus is presented. Second is odontoblast act as a receptor, which we discussed. And the third is fluid movement through tubules stimulates receptors in pulp. Basically, there is going to be fluid movement which is going to cause all of this nerve imbalance or the conduction of pain. Coming to the next topic in coming to the next subtopic in this topic is the clinical factors. So the first one we have is clinical loss of tooth structure, which is the prerequisite for dentinal hypersensitivity. This loss of tooth structure can occur due to adhesion, abrasion, abstraction, and all the other wasting diseases like we studied. Acute or chronic occlusal trauma. This can be one of the reasons for the loss of this tooth structure, which can be due to parafunctional habits like bruxism, which falls under one of the reasons for all of these wasting diseases. Other than that, we have periodontal problem, which includes inadequate attached gingiva, which causes recession of the marginal gingiva, and that can lead to exposure of cementum and further root caries and all of those. And the treatment suggested is periodontal surgery. After that, we have generalized spacing in teeth, and this leads to dentinal bleaching procedures, which can also cause dentinal hypersensitivity. Pathological teeth migration, because this causes denudation of cementum, another reason for dentinal hypersensitivity. Poor oral hygiene, which can cause root caries, again a reason for hypersensitivity. Iatrogenic during restorative procedures. Now, this usually happens during vital crown preparation. Now, we need to understand here that during vital crown preparation, the pulp is not exposed, but the pulp is still vital. So, the dentine is exposed, and there is going to be a tremendous amount of sensitivity for these stimuli. Other than that, we have aggressive oral prophylactic procedures like scaling and polishing if done incorrectly. Now let us go to the clinical diagnosis of dentinal hypersensitivity. Detailed history with diet habits and oral hygiene practices and medical conditions. These are all the initial things you need to look out for. Evaluate predisposing factors, which can include the parafunctional habits. Clinical examination, obviously, which is the most important part. Apply external stimuli and see, this is majorly to locate where or which tooth, shows the most amount of pain or the reaction to pain. Other than that, use visual analog scale to measure pain, which again is a follow-up step after application of the external stimuli. And obviously radiographic evaluation, which is RVG or IOPA. This is basically to see where the dentine is exposed. Coming on next, let us study about the management or treatment of dentinal hypersensitivity. So the first one we have is nerve desensitization, which sounds a little too aggressive, but can be done with the help of potassium nitrate. Other than that, we have anti-inflammatory agents, which is really just a cure to symptoms and not the actual reason. And that can be done with the help of corticosteroids. And moving on to the important part, which is cover or plugging the dentinal tubules which were exposed. So let us first go through plugging the dentinal tubules, and there are two different types or a few different methods in which this can be done. The first one we are going to go through is covering them with the help of ions or salts. These are the list of salts and ions which you really need to remember: calcium hydroxide, calcium phosphate, ferrous oxide, potassium oxalate, sodium monofluorophosphate, sodium fluoride, stannous fluoride, strontium fluoride, and bioactive glass. After that, we have protein precipitates, which can also be used to cover these dentinal tubules. They include formaldehyde, glutaraldehyde, zinc chloride, and silver nitrate. After that, the dentinal tubules or this can be plugged with the help of dentine sealers, which is the most commonly practiced procedure in clinics. This can be done with the help of GIC, composites, oxalic acids and resins, fluoride varnishes and sealants, and dentine bonding agents. Now, this all comes under restorative treatment. After that, if the reason is periodontal, the cause is related to the periodontal aspect, we need periodontal soft tissue grafting to cover for the recession or manage the inadequate width of attached gingiva, crown placement or restorative material, again laser or homeopathy medication. Now, let us go through this diagram, which again is going to tell you how to manage these, hypersensitivity reactions. First, with the help of ions and salts, just notice how they are going to be, uh, you know, placed or plugged right at the opening of dentinal tubules. And second is with the dentine sealers, which basically works the same way. It's just the different materials. This is basically going to stop the stimulus, which is going to be from the external surface or the exposed surface, to travel all the way to the pulp and further conduct this stimulus. Now let us solve a few questions which is going to help us revise this topic. So the first question which we have is, which type of nerve fiber is responsible for sharp pain? Now when we quickly try to memorize these two types of fibers which we learned, which was A delta and C fibers, we know that A fibers were responsible for sharp and fast pain, mainly because they are myelinated. So the correct answer here should be option number B. Let us quickly go through the explanation. The A delta fibers are myelinated, important point here, fast conducting peripheral fibers which are responsible to carry sharp, localized, and fast pain. Moving on to the next question, which management option involves sealing dentinal tubules? Now, when you look at these questions, you might just feel very confused or lost at first, which is why I am going to introduce you to something very interesting. Let us go through the answer first. The answer is dentine bonding agents. This sounds so simple, and we just, it seems like we are so silly that we could not get it in the first part or the first instinct. And that's all right, because that happens with everyone and you're going to go through this very often. That's why I suggest you to take a look at what I've marked here in red box, as which is called as flashcards, and they're going to quickly help you revise all of these topics, or these tricky questions which kind of trouble you here and there. So take a look at those, which by the way are available on the MedStudyGo app. Not just this, you'll get access to many more of these mind maps, notes, videos, flashcards, and MCQs. The best part is you get all of this completely free. You don't have to pay extra for any of these services. So as we come to the end of this video, I want to thank you so much for sticking with me till the end. I really hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and if there are any doubts, drop it down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to reply to all of you. Thank you so much and happy learning.